Hi and welcome to the MALAT Cookery channel. So it's -5 degrees centigrade outside. It's the first week of February. So I'm going to show you how to make some proper winter comfort food. And today we're going to be making an Italian beef stew. The seasoning that we're going to be using from the MALAT range is the Italian seasoning. And for those of you that subscribe to the channel that are not MALAT customers, you guys need to get a decent quality Italian herb mix, 2 teaspoons of that, and add to it 2 cloves of garlic which have been minced. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video, so let's have a look at those ingredients and anything else we're going to need for today's recipe. Right, so what we're going to need for today's recipe is 700 grams of lean stewing steak which has been cubed, 150 grams of plain flour, 2 celery sticks which have been washed and chopped, 2 bell peppers which have been chopped, about 4 medium-sized carrots which have been peeled and chopped, 1 tablespoon of MALAT Italian seasoning. Again, if you're not using this, you need about 2 teaspoons of good quality Italian herb mix, and add to that 2 garlic cloves which have been minced. We've got half a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt, 1 tin of chopped tomatoes, 2 medium-sized white onions which have been peeled and chopped. I'm going to be using about 4 tablespoons of good quality virgin oil for frying, 1 large glass of red wine which is about 250 millilitres. Going to be using a splash of Lee & Perrins Worcester sauce and about 700 millilitres of beef stock. This is 2 beef cubes which have been placed into boiling water. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the flour, I'm going to add the salt and pepper to season it, and then we're going to coat the actual beef cubes in the flour. So first thing then is to season the flour with the salt and pepper. Mix that in well. And then add the beef to the flour. And just make sure that you get this thoroughly coated. So once we've got the beef coated in the flour, we'll let this stand for about 5 minutes while we prepare the pan ready for frying all of the ingredients off. So we've got our pan with the 4 tablespoons of olive oil in there just coming up to heat. You want to choose a pan that is suitable with a lid to go into the oven. Once we've fried everything off on the hob and we've got it up to temperature, we're then going to be placing the pan with the lid on in the oven, a preheated oven, 170 degrees centigrade, and we're going to cook it further for about 2 hours. So make sure you choose a pan that is suitable with the lid to go into the oven. So first thing we want to do is to just add the onions, and all we want to do with the onions is to just cook them through and just soften them. So the onions have now been cooking for about 3 or 4 minutes. They've started to soften up and also break up as well. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add the beef. So we just take the beef and shake off any of the excess flour and just start adding the beef to the onion. Okay, so I've added the beef into the dish. Just want to go and wash my hands, and then we'll mix all that beef in, and then I'll show you the next step. So now all that beef's mixed in, it's starting to cook. We want to add the remainder of the flour. And we just want to cook this flour through for about a minute. Next thing is to add the red wine. And just mix all that in. And the reason for adding the red wine now is just to cook out some of that alcohol. Otherwise you tend to get like a vinegar style of taste. The red wine will also get all of the bits off the bottom of the pan. So the red wine's been cooking now for about a minute. We want to add the chopped tomatoes, so the tin of chopped tomatoes in there at this stage. Now I want to add in the Italian seasoning. Mix that in. And then add in the beef stock. Little splash of Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce. And it's at this stage, when it starts to come up to temperature again, you can add all of the veg. So the Italian beef stew has been simmering now for about 10 minutes on the hob. I'm going to place the lid onto the pan, and then it's going into a preheated oven, 170 degrees centigrade, for between 2 hours and 2 hours 15 minutes until it's perfectly cooked. Okay, so the Italian beef stew is now cooked. It's taken the full 2 hours and 15 minutes in order to cook all the way through and get that melt in the mouth beef, nice and succulent. I've been quite busy in the kitchen today, so I've done some rustic farmhouse loaves of bread. I'll do a video on how to do those. I've also made some fantastic roast potatoes. Again, I'll do a video on how to make those. With regard to the Italian beef stew, we've got lovely succulent beef. Got that thick gravy, full of flavour, and the vegetables as well. As I said before, we've cut those in quite big chunks. They've retained the shape. They're soft, but they're still got a firmness to them. Absolutely fantastic, proper winter comfort food. So that's it, Italian beef stew, a definite family favourite of ours, perfect for these cold winter days. Serve it with rustic bread, some roast potatoes. It'll go down an absolute storm, I can guarantee it. As usual, please subscribe to the channel, and if you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Thanks for watching.